Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Damn Podcast. I'm your host, Angie Machado. We've got a full show today and some great guests. We are joined by Spencer Newell, Beaver Blitz special report writer extraordinaire, Davis Doan, our beat writer, and special contributor Ty Boyce. Kaz is out in Vegas right now, I think celebrating his 21st birthday. Hopefully Kaz is doing well. In this journey, and hopefully he's not making too many sports bets, because if you've been following Kaz's sure thing locks, Kaz might be asking for some cash here. But we have a fun show, you guys. It's been a couple weeks, but I thought this was a really good time to talk. We're gonna really dive in and talk football coaching search. We are hitting the home stretch of this football coaching search that kind of started. Well, it did start about 6 weeks ago. We are heading toward the finish line. Finalists have been identified. Final interviews are taking place, and I expect a coach to be named within the next week. So lots to talk about there. And then we're going to switch over to the season a little bit. I'm not going to talk too much about the past couple games. We all know how those have gone. Washington State this week, the Beavs are kind of limping into that home stretch. But I do want to talk MVPs, because I think it's important that we celebrate a couple of those guys that really did, show out this season. Preview a little signing day. For those that don't know, early signing period begins next Wednesday, December 3rd through the 5th. We'll talk briefly a little hoops. I want Spencer to talk a little hoops action there. And then we have some damn questions. So it's going to be a fun, quick show. And it's Thanksgiving week, so we might have to ask a couple fun questions around Thanksgiving. But before I get started, if you're not a member of Beaver Blitz, the Black Friday special promotion is live right now. They started it a day early. 75% off an annual membership to Beaver Blitz. So it is a no-brainer. Get your subscription to Beaver Blitz and get in the lodge, where we have been posting stuff. All the inside scoop is in the lodge. So, guys, how are we? We good?
Doing well.
Good. Happy holidays.
Right. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is a couple days away. So we're going to talk a little of that too. So be thinking about, your favorite food and all of that good stuff. But I want to jump right in, because this coaching search, even like 20 minutes before we go live, changes are made to our list. It's starting to really heat up. So, the past week and a half or so, Scott Barnes and the committee have been doing interviews. It was down. John Canzano said there were 2 finalists. The committee had a third. So they were going to interview 3 finalists. And then Sunday night, Justin Wilcox of Cal was fired. That's put a little monkey wrench in, because we do believe Wilcox is being interviewed as well for the job. So we're going to jump right in. One of the finalists that we had heard was Tim Polasek from North Dakota State. Right before we went live, it was announced that he was agreed in theory to a extension with North Dakota State. So he looks to be staying put with the Bison. So we don't have quite as many to talk about, but let's jump right in. As of Sunday, I had heard of 2 finalists that were flying into Portland on Sunday. That was Brent Vigen, head coach at Montana State, and Jamarcus Shepard, the co-OC assistant head coach at Bama. So let's talk about those 2 first. Tell me what you like about Brent Vigen, Spencer.
Yeah, he wins. He's got a few studs on that team too. Like this kid, Justin Lamson, Julian Davis, Caden Dowler, like they've got some kids he could bring with him for sure. He just wins. And the thing that I'm less high on him is he is a little more stoic.
Yeah. And
he is a little more football oriented rather than like getting out, engaging the fans or the donors. Like he just doesn't have that persona that we know of. But otherwise, look at his track record. He's a very, very good coach.
Yeah, and they're coming off a huge win over Montana just this past weekend. Ty, what do you like about Vigen, and maybe what do you have a question about?
The same as Spencer. He's a little wooden, and I don't know. I don't know that you need a big rah-rah guy. I mean, Gary Anderson won a lot of press conferences,
Yeah.
I mean, at least initially. And where, Jonathan Smith didn't. Trent Bray didn't. I don't know. So I don't know that there's a direct correlation there. I do think that this donor base and this program needs a bit of a little stick of dynamite, energetically. Yeah. So that's a thing. Obviously, yeah, he's a very sound football coach, and he's come up through the ranks, and he's been a head football coach for a long time. I do find it interesting, though, a lot of times, and I've talked about this on the board too. Join if you haven't. That some of that, like doing more with less, I think that's not a direct comparison. Like those FCS schools, it's not like they're knocking off a lot of FBS schools, and they have a lot of resources there. The only other thing I have about Vigen, by the way, yeah, great coach. I think we'd be very lucky to have him. Him versus Jimmy Rogers, Matt Ince, and I hope I'm saying these names right. Polasek, he is 1-5 versus those coaches.
Wow.
As a head
for
coach.
Those that don't know, Ince now is head coach at Fresno State. Rogers is now the head coach at Washington State, and then obviously Polasek. So not a good record against some future coaches Beavs will be going against.
I could have made a mistake on that, but that's what I think I understood. So yeah.
Okay. Davis, anything different you want to add about Vigen?
I mean, I think he's a proven coach. Like he has a great record there. I think he's 57-12 or something like that at Montana State, and he develops players really well. I mean, he developed Josh Allen at Wyoming, and he is proven that he can coach. I do think there is like risk of him coming up from FCS to Power 4, Power 5, whatever. I don't know how well he's able to recruit at that level, but I think he is a good coach.
Yeah. So, I mean, are the Beavers even Power 4 anymore? I think we're now G6 or G5. I don't even know anymore, but he's a winner. So I think this is important because I think when you start looking at these guys, there's pluses and minuses to all of them. They all have, there's not like one, and gosh, after reading the Lodge, I think Oregon State could say they're going to go get Pete Carroll or, Tom Brady, and people would freak out and say that there's something wrong. So, and as I alluded to, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I think so much of coaching is fit and fitting with this program, fitting with the school. I mean, you look at coaches that have done really well. I mean, I look at Fickell or Smith. I mean, you can go down a list of guys that have done really well at other programs. And then, Fickell now at Wisconsin is struggling, or Smith at Montana or Michigan State is struggling. So much of it is fit with the program, with the system, just with the recruiting base and what, you're comfortable recruiting. So I do think this is the biggest hire for Scott Barnes that he's going to make, and maybe one of the biggest football hires in Oregon State in recent memory, just because we want to come out, and Oregon State needs to come out and win early. So I agree. I've been watching some videos and like Ty said, Gary Anderson came out and won. I mean, when he was introduced, his press conference was like just the way he was. You were like ready to run through a wall. We saw how that turned out. And then Jonathan Smith came, and it was kind of a snooze fest. But he's a good coach. So you don't necessarily need the rah-rah guy.
Yeah.
Vigen is a winner. I don't think the Beavs could go wrong. I mean, I think every guy we're going to talk about, I think, has definite positives. And they're better than some of the names that we initially started with, if you remember some of the names that we kind of threw out there early. So, proven winner, has a system in place. I think Barnes really wants a guy that will, as he talks about, can run the enterprise. He could bring some players with him. He has coaches that he could bring right with him that know his system, hit the ground running, recruiting, and that's going to be super important. The next guy, though, Jamarcus Shepard. Watched his videos, totally opposite, right? He is fired up. He, in fact, it's funny because Kim Grinolds is the publisher at Dogman, my sister site for the University of Washington. I never asked him to do this. He came on the Lodge last week and just said, "Hey, I've done this since 1997. Jamarcus Shepard is my favorite assistant coach I have ever covered." So that's like what, almost 30 years of covering assistant coaches. He said he gets to know all his players, not just the offensive guys. He's so well spoken. He gets, the donors get involved. So he has that piece. The question there, I think, is who he brings as his offensive or defensive coordinator. Davis, what are your thoughts on Jamarcus Shepard?
I like him. I mean, he's a really good recruiter, and especially on the West Coast. I mean, he coached Rome Odunze and Jalen McMillan at Washington, and he definitely brings a more like modern offense that Oregon State has lacked in the past few years. But the only downside is like he has no head coach experience, which we saw how that worked out with Coach Bray. But so we don't know how he can handle budgets and stuff like that. Recruiting. I mean, he's a great recruiter, but as a head coach, it's a little different.
Yeah, you're not out on the road every week, in doing that. Ty, what are your thoughts on Shepard?
I mean, that depends. I mean, you're hiring a CEO, right? So who knows? And I think that staff is what takes paramount in that decision. But look at his coaching tree, although he may not have been a coordinator under these people, his coaching tree, just who he's worked with in the staff rooms he's worked with, is as impressive, arguably, and I could be wrong, is Wilcox, though. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a CEO, he's been a part of a lot of programs. He's got a lot of people he can call. I don't know. I think he's exciting, but he is the biggest risk on the page. But he's also, it seems to be, the fan base is pretty loud about him. But then again, we were pretty loud about hiring our last coach. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think Shepard probably has the highest ceiling, but he also is the biggest risk. So risk reward there. Spencer, what are your thoughts?
I think it goes beyond X's and O's. And for me, this hire is not necessarily as important because we're going in the Pac-12. It's for 5 years from now when all the realignment happens again. And at that point, we're going to need to re-establish our donor base, right? Re-engage some donors who may have left over the last few years because of apathy or whatever, or just weren't excited about the team. And I think the risk of bringing a guy like Jamarcus Shepard in without having head coaching experience, I think the reward far outweighs this right now. And we got to look at a bigger picture on this. I mean, he is an up and comer. He succeeds wherever he goes. He's my number one. Yeah. And lastly, he's a really good special teams coach.
Well, it's like what Kim, that recommendation that Kim gave. I mean, what's great about a well-run fan site like we have at Beaver Blitz, and they bridge the gap between the fans and the team.
Yeah.
So, when you've got someone there that's obviously Angie, you touch everything. You talk to donors. You interface with the players, you interface with the coaches, and then you're the mouthpiece to the fans. So it's like, and Kim, if I'm not mistaken, does that for the UW site, correct?
Yep. And he's like I said, since '97. So
yeah, and I mean, it's not exact science, but like I'm with Spencer there too. Is that I'd be very happy with any of these three, but I think you gotta. I don't know. I think Shepard is really intriguing and would probably be my number one. So.
Okay, so wow, so two of you guys have Shepard as number one. Davis, what about you? I know you were high on him. Is Shepard your number one?
Number one, yeah, I think so. I think he's the right fit for our situation.
Does he, like we talked about, and some of the things Kim talked about too, that he would walk, like during stretching, he was talking to the offensive and defensive guys, even though he was like wide receiver coach. That's the kind of stuff Trent Bray did, and really engaged. He knew all the team's name, not just his position group. Does it worry you that this could be a Trent Bray 2.0? No, Spencer?
Nope.
Okay.
I think this is entirely different because we're under way different circumstances than we were with Trent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rumbling CDs says you guys are insane.
I agree.
Okay. So we might come back to Jamarcus Shepard, but now I want to. Jim Mora is on our list. It's a name that's been floated. I do think there's some interest there. I think his buyout is pretty big. I know he's a candidate at UCLA, or not UCLA, Stanford. But anyway, that is another one. But the one I want to get to now is one that popped up just 2 nights ago, and I know he is interested. I know he there's been discussion, I believe, possibly an interview today that happened with Justin Wilcox. This is a guy with Oregon ties. This is one though. If I'm looking at the whole picture, I think, and I know now the comments are going to go off the charts because people are going to say his record and he doesn't win. He didn't win at Cal. But what I see is the full picture with Justin Wilcox. I see a guy who has run the entire enterprise. Scott Barnes terminology there, the enterprise. He has had some good teams. Now, I will say everything I've heard, Stanford is probably the toughest job, P4. It was even in the Pac-12, it was probably a harder job than Oregon State. Just in the institution, the support they got from both university and from fans, the academic side of things and getting players into school there, a lot of things outside of his control. But he has the whole picture of actually managing a team. He has those Oregon ties. I think he fits Oregon State, just his demeanor. He knows Oregon State. So, my thing with Vigen is he's not a West Coast guy. He's more of a Midwest guy. So he doesn't have quite the footprint recruiting wise on the West Coast. It's more, Plains and Midwest. Shepherd does have some ties on the West Coast, but Wilcox this has been his home. Basically, he's worked under Chris Peterson. He's worked, at USC. He's worked under some of the best programs in the country. Why shouldn't he be the guy? Davis, I'll let you start this one.
Why he shouldn't?
Or should.
No, I do think he is a good coach. He's more of a defensive-minded coach for sure. Cal's offense has been pretty bad the past few years. Even with they put up like 38 against us or something. But that's us.
Dang it.
So, I do think he's good. I wouldn't put him I'd say he's my number 3 on the list.
Okay.
3 or 4. I do think Mora would be up there with him. I think.
Okay.
I don't know if I like Mora better, but he did turn around a terrible UConn program.
Yes, that's a huge.
Yeah, and they've made 2 bowl games in 3 years since then. And
this is a guy with West Coast ties as well. Let's talk Mora. So now you have 2 guys with head coaching experience. Mora is a West Coast guy, played at University of Washington. He has a brother that lives in Seattle and a brother that lives in Bend right now. So he has the West Coast connection. UConn was horrible, and I would say probably in a worse spot than Oregon State, being independent football.
Being a basketball school and being
in a basketball school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you go out and get Mora then?
I think I don't know. I feel like it might have to be a short term. He's 63, I think.
Yeah, 64, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer he'll be coaching, but it could be the right move in some circumstances. I think he would be able to turn it around, but I don't know if his ceiling is what his ceiling is. I do think he'd be able to turn it around in a better
Mora
way.
has a better, I think he's more of a salesman. You hear Mora talk and he's got some charisma to him. Spencer, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, personally, I would go with Mora for exactly the reason you just said. Again, it's like we need to engage the donors and really be out there like selling this thing, selling some sort of hope. And I feel like Mora would do that. But if we were picking between Mora and Justin, I feel like the hope aspect would come more with Mora.
Okay.
One thing with Justin is, he's a local guy. I wonder if Tosh moves on from Oregon, if he'll go coach under Dan Lanning as DC.
I don't think so. I don't think that he's maybe as connected to Oregon since his playing days. Oregon's changed a lot from when he played there. That's what
the other thing too is, we hear a lot about, he'll bring JKS. We're not going to be able to afford JKS.
I know.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. And I'm sure. I'm sure JKS was sad. This is a tough time for the players, all the players, right? That were recruited by a coach. Same with when Bray was let go. And yes, I love it. Even some of my best friends are like, "Oh, if Wilcox is hired, JKS is coming. He's already said." Yeah, kind of like Akili Arnold, Nisa Mascarenas, and those guys that they were saying if Trent Bray was hired. Yeah, that's all good. That's the plan until the money starts being the money that the dollar signs are flashing. It's really easy to say that until SEC
that kid's got options right now.
He will have options. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It's gonna be a bidding war. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And we can talk a little bit about this in a minute, but Tristan Tia showed me some stuff this last weekend. So, okay. So we've kind of talked strengths of each. Are you guys would you be upset if any of those 4 guys were announced as head coach? Ty, we'll start with you.
No.
Okay.
I think they bring, I think that I don't ever want to accept defeat or mediocrity, but some things that the board at times feels a little bit unrealistic. And I don't think that this program it'll take too long with the right guy to get back to a really prominent place in the group of 6, and kind of one of those like Boise State, one of those like teams that are kind of like tweeners, that are doing a lot with a little, that with some great branding and stuff like that, can really shake things up no matter who they line up against. However, I think all these coaches potentially could be the right hire. I don't have the same reaction to Jim Mora Jr. I remember putting it out there, and he's not my first choice at all. I remember people kind of freaking out about that. I'm like, I don't know who we think we are. And again, there's no moral victories. I'm not saying that we should settle, but what I'm saying is man, I think if Shepherd really wants to come to this university right now, I think that guy may only be here for a couple seasons. You know what I mean? And I think that might be a good thing.
That's a good thing. I mean, that means that Oregon State is winning. If whoever comes is here for 2 years, because then they're getting offered to go elsewhere. That's a good thing.
Yep. Wilcox and Mora both are former Power 5 coaches that recruited in the West Coast that have Northwest ties. And Vigen is a proven winner. Yeah, I mean, the Vigen thing is the one I'd probably of the 4 that I have the most, where I'm like, well, I don't know, because I just don't think that that's a lateral comparison to FCS success to the Group of 5 success.
Yep, agree. You guys, the comments are off the chart right now, because I see them all, guys, and I can't just pop them all up. But we have some very strong opinions from I will not be a Beaver fan if Justin Wilcox is hired to.
Okay.
You guys. Yeah, so the Lodge is similar. I mean, the Lodge, like I said, I swear to God, Pete Carroll could be announced as the next head coach, and people with Chip Kelly or I mean, my personal favorite. I really was hoping. I was holding out hope that the Beavs would be in it for Lane Kiffin, because I think he's a great coach, and he would bring a lot of fun to Corvallis. But I don't think that's happening. But I think we could put Lane Kiffin coming to Oregon State for $2 million a year, and somebody in the Lodge would be upset about it. So,
yeah, I mean, he said, there's some stuff in the closet there, and that's same reason not to hire, potentially Rolovich or potentially, Ogeron.
Okay. So this was side note about Rolo, because Rolo is now the interim head coach at Cal. Okay, talk about how did Rolo end up at Cal?
Cal.
I mean, probably the most liberal school in the entire country, and that's where Rolo is now the interim head coach. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do we have 3 people that number 1 candidate is Jamarcus Shepherd? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, we got Spencer as a yay, Davis, and Ty. Okay.
Also,
and we have people
in
the chat saying that we're crazy. Well, no, you guys realize we have not sat in on any of the any of the interviews. So we are just going off of what we've seen, heard, and heard. I've heard, though, from some pretty good sources that Shepherd, this is the job he wants. So, he's all in on this. So, but yeah, I think I look at this list, and while, yes, I could find negatives, I think, for all of them, I think there's just as many positives for all of them. So it'll be fun. Yes, Kyle has a good comment here. Kyle VC, hire someone, embrace them, and get back in the fight. That is all that matters. Go Beavs.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's the kind
That
of
is what we
Beaver fan I
need.
like to hear from. Yeah.
That is absolutely what we need right now. Okay. Timing on this. I know everybody's been kind of curious about that. I think there's a little bit of, we have OSU prof in the lodge, and he's really tied into the whole hiring process within the university. The decision has to be made, I think, by tomorrow morning, so that they can start the background checks, all the stuff that HR has to do with the university. But I think the plan is they would love to announce it like Monday next week after that Washington State game. So I'm keeping my schedule clear that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in case I have to get to Corvallis for a press conference. That's my thought. That's what I'm planning. And so it's going to be fast, guys. So be ready. Let's switch gears. We're going to talk current football team. MVPs. I don't want to dwell. I mean, after the past Sam Houston and Tulsa, we didn't even do podcasts after that because it was not even worth the time of talking about it. But let's talk. Okay, it's been a full season. I'm just curious. I think it's time we celebrate a little bit. Offensive MVP, defensive MVP, and newcomer of the year. I want your thoughts. Spencer, who's your offensive player of the year?
Offense it's definitely got to be Hankerson. Defense, Aiden Sullivan, or Skylar Thomas. He was such a class act this entire year and probably held that room together when they needed it most. I'm a huge Skylar fan anyway, but I would say for newcomer, maybe even Kai Wallen. I thought he went under the radar a little bit, and he was effective at times for sure.
Yeah, definitely got better as the season went on.
The other guy I would say Conrad Hussey, but he was so short-lived that we really didn't see a full slate from him. But
yeah, did he get hurt? Because I remember him coming in. What game was it? He transferred and immediately saw time.
Yeah, so his deal, he did. I think he was dinged up, but then also since he didn't even have a full fall, he didn't have any fall camp. The plan for him was to play 4 games and redshirt.
I see. Okay.
So that was the plan all along for him. So he didn't have to waste an entire year playing part of a season. Okay, let's hear Ty. Who do you got?
I'm not going to say anything new. I couldn't agree with Spencer more.
I know.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I really I hope that Skylar has a long and lucrative playing career beyond Oregon State, but I can't wait for that guy to be our next coach someday, because you watch him interview and you hear that he's a gym rat and a film guy, and like, yeah, dude, I'm old, but if I was a kid, I'd want to go play for that guy. So, yeah.
Davis, do you have anybody different?
I have Jaheim as my defensive MVP.
Okay.
I think just towards the end of the season, especially, he really turned it up a little bit. And newcomer, I don't know. I'd say maybe Jaleel Tucker. He played all of the season. He didn't play like amazing, but Kai was hurt, so Jaleel just had more of a impact throughout like the whole season.
My only different. I don't think anybody of us could go against Hank. That guy was the heart and soul of the offense. I had Trey Glasper as my newcomer. He took his lumps, but kid'll be okay. I think the future's bright for him just because he did play the entire season, took his lumps now. He'll get better. Okay, so keeping with the theme of the team, I have more than 5. So if you guys have like 1 or 2 over 5, that's fine.
Oh, that's right.
But yes, so I let's say you're the new coach, whoever that may be. You have the first 5 days before the portal opens to go out and pick. You get to keep, let's say, the 5 most important guys that you think you have to keep on this roster. Who are you going after? And we'll let Davis start this one.
I went with quarterback Tristan Tia.
Okay.
In that however many minutes he played against Tulsa.
Fourth quarter. He basically played the fourth quarter.
He was 8 for 11, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And how about his poise?
Yeah, he looked like that in fall camp. I was there for a week, and from what I saw, like, he was an accurate and poised quarterback, like, throughout all of fall camp as a freshman.
Yep.
And then for defensive, I said either Jaheim or Dexter. Just
Okay.
keeping one of them would be very important. And then I took Jacob Strand. You just need an offensive lineman. I said Trey Glasper. I think I've been high on him all season. I think he's could be another Jamad McCoy type of player. Hopefully, but hopefully he doesn't leave. And then I want to keep Cornell Hatcher.
Yep.
He's
Good call.
been a beast, showing up in games.
And he's a Beaver legacy. Both his uncles played at Oregon State, so that's
Yeah. Hopefully that means something.
yes. Okay, Ty. Who are you keeping? Who's your priority? I'm not saying that we can't keep other people, but
Yeah. I think that you've got to see a lot of development one way or the other with the offensive line. So that's just kind of a big obtuse answer. But I'd say Sullivan is my number one. I think you're gonna have to battle to keep him. I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's already had contact with an agent.
Yes.
But then Glasper, and I cheated. I got more than 5. But Glasper and oh gosh, I'm brain fart right now. The other DB, the other
Jaleel? Tucker?
Yeah, Tucker. There we go. Thank you. Tia. I think he's exciting. I think Hickel. I think he's going to keep getting stronger as he continues to mend. You know, to get more and more. You know, and then Hatcher. Yeah.
Okay. We got some names that are reoccurring. Spencer, who do you got?
I'm going to start with Thomas Collins.
Okay.
I think he would be a nice piece to build around on the defense up front. Aiden for sure. Tristan for sure. I saw the press conference he just did. There's something about that kid. He's humble. He doesn't have this like air of arrogance to him where he just feels like a good kid that you could build something around, especially on the offense. So definitely Tia. I'm going to go with Cornell over Ala, but I think it's pretty close. And then I would take one of the O-line guys, probably Sikorsky, just to have a centerpiece again, which to build around with the new guys that you bring in or the guys that are coming up through the ranks.
Okay, so it's pretty unanimous that we're going to keep Tia. We're going to keep Hatcher. I heard a couple Trey Glaspers. So I have a couple different. I think Conrad Hussey. I think you keep him. I think the ceiling there is huge. I went Shamar Meikle.
Yeah,
we've seen a lot from him, and I think we're going to need that outside linebacker, a rangy guy, long. Dexter Foster, I think, is just that stalwart that you try to keep. JoJo Johnson is actually who I went with the D line. I was between him and Pomea. Just JoJo kept popping up. Davis's practice reports.
Yeah.
Fall and Jake's in the spring. We kept having a lot of JoJo Johnson. And then I'm going to throw a little wrinkle in here because it's not official, but Trent Walker, I believe, has a medical hardship year that he could apply for. So if there's a chance that you can get Trent Walker back, I just think that's a huge leadership aspect. And gosh darn it, I did not realize the kid has never had his touchdown in Reser Stadium.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to come back for, if no other reason, than to get a freaking touchdown at Reser. That's just nuts, right? So he had his first touchdown of the year just last week, or against Tulsa. So I don't expect him to be here. I don't, but
yeah,
there is a chance that he applies for a medical hardship, a chance that he gets it. It's like I said, it's not a slam dunk, but that is kind of out here in Neverland. So keep an eye on it.
I think if Shepard is a choice, I think with that coaching tree, his, with DeBoer and Leach and all that, I think that becomes a whole lot more attractive for maybe a Tia and a Walker,
Yeah. Kyle says, I've heard a rumor that he has had interest from a school to the south and considered it last season. Yeah, no. And that's, I had heard some info that he wanted more money. I think his initial ask was a lot, from little rumors I'd heard. So maybe he'll be looking to take the bag. Who knows? But that's kind of just where we're at. Okay, we're going to take a quick break for the podcast side, then we're going to jump back and talk some signing day, hoops, and then we're going to take some damn questions. So hang with us for just a second. Again, if you're not a member of Beaver Blitz, now is the perfect time to join. Our Black Friday promo is live. Save 75% off an annual membership to Beaver Blitz. Get all the insight in the lodge. Plus, you can read all the other sites on the 24/7 Sports Network. Join at beaverblitz.com today. Okay, welcome back. It's been a fun show talking about coaching search. We've talked some MVPs. Now let's talk some signing day. I know we haven't talked a ton of recruiting since Trent Bray's departure, just because there's so much uncertainty. Signing day starts next Wednesday. We are a week away from signing day, basically, guys. So this is the early signing period. Then for perspective, the portal will open. The portal opens for departures 5 days after the new coach. Oh, somebody in the chat just said that Canzano says Wilcox is out. Wilcox is out, according to Canzano in the chat. So, dun, dun, dun. The dominoes are starting to fall. Dominoes are starting to fall, guys. Okay. Okay, so.
I'll be in my room.
Yeah.
I'll be in my room with a warm blanket and a cold cereal, dude.
rocking yourself with a bowl of ice cream. Okay, early signing period, again, starts December 3rd through 5th. The portal will open for a new coaching hire 5 days after the coach is announced. So that is for portal exit. So that's for current players that want to leave. The portal opens for everyone January 2nd through the 16th. And then regular signing day is February 4th. My big birthday celebration on signing day. Okay.
Hope
so
it's a celebration.
Yeah, hopefully. So
yeah,
I will say, as we prepare for early signing period, I've confirmed 3 guys that will be signing with Oregon State. So that is really good news. And they're actually 4 guys. Sorry, because I got one more today. So Kai Wallen is in. He tells me he is signing early. Does not care who the coach is. He's coming to Oregon State. Adel Dorr, coming to Oregon State. He's a 4th generation Beav up from Washington State. He is excited to be a Beav. Jeremiah Brown out of San Jacinto said he's coming to Oregon State. And the last one I just heard today, this will make Spencer so happy, Sinai Thomas. Reached out to me and told me he's signing. So
nice.
That's big. As we're getting ready to do our signing. Now I say all this, and this is me getting my prep work done for our signing day coverage. Things can change. Just leave that out there. Things can go sideways. But as of right now, on Tuesday, the 25th, those 4 guys have confirmed that they're signing with Oregon State. Because I asked them, are you signing or are you waiting? And they're signing. So that's what I've got. So that's super good news, I think, for where Oregon State is right now. And then that gives the staff time to evaluate, figure out what they need, who's leaving. So it's going to be a busy couple months at Beaver Blitz. That's what I got. Pretty good news.
Did I hear that Jimmy Rogers? I was just listening to his press conference previewing the game this weekend, and he said 70 transfers. Is that true? That seems absurd. No. Sorry.
Oh.
Washington State took in 70 transfers in the coaching. Yeah, that seems absurd.
That was okay. Signetti. Rogers only brought 12 or 15.
Yeah, okay. Signetti brought a ton. Brought a ton with him. So yeah. So like I said, this is actually going to be more fun, I think, now covering recruiting, because typically recruiting we've kind of done in December the past few years. So it makes regular signing day a little more interesting. But I like the makeup of the guys that have told me that they're signing in December and not waiting, because I thought that was probably a big option for some of these guys, is to wait and just see who's hired and kind of give it a little time. So for those guys to sign early, huge, and huge props to the recruiting staff at Oregon State for keeping those guys in the mix and in the running. So that's kind of the nutshell of what signing day and the portal windows look like. Again, it'll be really busy next week, Wednesday through Friday. The portal will open probably the following week you have a couple, probably a pretty big exodus. So don't panic if Oregon State's roster enters the portal. Remember, some of them can come back too, even if they jump in the portal. So, but after a 2-9 season, some changes need to be made. I mean, that's just what has to happen. And then January is going to get busy. And that's actually really good timing for Oregon State on the quarter system too, because then you get guys that can come in immediately. Okay. Something that's not going to be super fun to talk about, but we're going to give it a little bit of time. Spencer, you've done, actually, this part's fun because you actually sat down last week with Scott Rueck and have a 2-part series or 3-part series?
It might become 3, to be honest.
Okay.
We sat down for 40 minutes, and he just gave me so much great insight. So, yeah.
So if you guys haven't been keeping track, Spencer's been doing some really fun backstory features where he really gets in and talks to players, both men's basketball, football, women's basketball, but gets to know them as people. And it's not just about athletics. It's kind of all encompassing. Some really, really good stories. He sat down with Scott Rueck this past week. So I'm really excited. I've read the first installment. Great insight, and especially for everyone that asks for more women's basketball coverage. This is your chance. Like, read it. Show us that you want to read it. Show us by sharing with friends and getting some page views on these so we can do more, because we will cater to what you guys want to read. Men's basketball has been down in the Virgin Islands at the Paradise Jam. Started the season with 3 eke out wins, like right down the stretch, and now they're on a 4-game skid. Lost at Oregon, and then did not win a game in the Virgin Islands. I think the worst was the Iona game. Had a 19-point lead and then lost in double overtime. Spencer, thoughts from this group?
Yeah, well, I do believe there's more than enough time to right the ship. Going down the Virgin Islands, it was when Kez and Yak went out. Kez had the flu and Yak had a hamstring issue. I think, especially with Yak, I think that showed the effect it had on the offensive rebound side of things. I mean, they were just letting offensive rebounds for the other team occur all 3 of those games, really. So, while Noah made his presence known, like having Yak as a bit of help would have been huge, and I think it would have cut those numbers down, to be honest. And I think with Kez, when Kez and Isaiah are on the court together, they have this chemistry that is just undeniable, and they feed off each other. And the other guys feed off Kez too. So I think not having him in the lineup definitely affected things. He'll be back soon, and I don't know too much about Yak's injury. I don't believe it's long-term, but I'll have to double check. Look, I mean, this is early season struggles, right? And I think Wayne is still evaluating the talent that he's got there that is going to become his starting 5. He's playing 10 guys deep right now. And I think with the immersion of or with the coming up of Noah had a breakout performance down in the Virgin Islands. I think he's going to be one to watch as he continues to develop, because he's just getting faster as the season goes with footwork and that sort of thing. But also with Malcolm Christie, he's starting to hit 3-point shots, and he's starting to play more defense. So I think as time goes on, we'll see a better offense overall. I think the defense is good; it's where it needs to be, but it just needs to get a little better, especially on the boards. But I think there's some pieces in place. This isn't the 3-28 team from years ago. There are some pieces in place that could really catch fire, and the way we've been shooting is not the way they were shooting in camp. I mean, these guys Des White is a perfect example. He's kind of hit or miss right now, but he's going to start making threes, and people.
Well, even Christie. I mean, Davis and I sat there.
Sure.
Christie was hitting everything, and now he's been struggling.
But he's started to hit more shots from the perimeter over the last few days, and he's getting more time too, which is nice. So I'm not Olawani. I think he's been dealing with a bit of an injury. He did get some time against Iona. It was nice to see him. He was pretty physical, to be honest, but he wasn't in for long. He's another piece, once he integrates. So I'm not skeptical about this season. I feel like we have the makings of of a good team still that can make a tournament run come March in the WCC and potentially the NCAA.
Okay, there you guys go. So that was like I said, just a brief rundown there. We'll keep having you covered. Davis has been putting out the previews for men's basketball. I've been doing some women's basketball previews, so make sure you're checking that out as well. Okay, some damn questions. Got 3 that I picked today. Miss G. Gray, 2 questions. Did the reporting by Belligerent Beeves change your perspective of Brent Blaylock and Blueprint Sports from where it was after your interview? Did you guys read any of the Belligerent Beeves stuff?
Yeah, I think they did a really great job, and I mean, I think it was inspiring that the fans kind of took control and started to do a bit of their own sleuthing a little bit. I think it's really kind of turned over a new era in fandom that people are looking, behind the curtains, and asking more questions. I don't know that it changed my opinion though. I think that it looked, it looked a little stinky, but even before that article came out.
I was gonna say even my interview with Blaylock and Barnes, it still felt sketchier than hell. The whole thing.
And it's odd to me too that just the athletic department's all under NDAs right now. It's like why couldn't we have transparency? Like why? Yeah. I don't know, and that's concerning.
I think the NDAs are from Pac-12, and I think it's to keep people from talking about the media deal, the media rights deals.
Oh, do you think that that's kind of umbrelling it? Though?
I don't know. I think it's totally unrelated.
Okay.
To the
Blueprint. There you go.
But I agree. I'm a transparent person though. I'm kind of all for transparency, as you guys probably have figured out from me doing this 20 years. I pretty much just tell it like I see it. So I thought that I wanted to give Blaylock and Barnes each a platform to talk about a lot of things. Blaylock mostly about Blueprint, but Barnes. But I still thought that Blueprint deal, it like you said, Ty, it stunk. It was sketchy.
There's no silver lining there. There didn't seem to be any kind of. It just seemed like, I think it was shout out again, Belligerent Beeves. That they had to be like, once Oregon State left that figurative meeting room, Blueprint had to be like fist pumping, being like, I can't believe they went for it. You know what I mean?
No.
Because like Maryland's deal stunk and ours was much, much worse.
Worse. It appeared worse based on what I thought. Okay, so Mr. G. Gray's second question is, what is the scenario where Bray is the DC for the Beavs in 26?
That seems wild to me. That seems wild that's even, if it's true, again, I'm a dumb fan. I'm a passionate dumb fan. I think emotionally, I can't see any world where that makes a lot of sense for the new administration or that defensive coordinator that I care a lot about, Yeah. So,
I think if the one positive, well, there are lots of positives with Trent. Like, he's a great coach. He's a great defensive mind. He could also, if he came in, he could help retain a lot of the guys or help retain some of the guys that we might lose. Now, money rules the world now, so those guys might just get bigger paychecks, but I feel like it would be a vote of confidence for some of these, like the Aiden Sullivans, the Jaheim Pattersons of the world. If Jaheim called them out after that, whatever game they won, like, hey, shout out to Coach Bray. Like, he means something to these guys. So
totally. Yeah. And when I say that too, I just mean like what a laying down of his ego that would be. You know what I mean? For Coach Bray. I just mean like, if he would be willing to do that, that would be like awesome, but unparalleled,
Davis, could you do it?
Yeah.
Like, Davis, could you do it? Like, if you were a coach, been fired as a head coach, could you put your ego aside and just be, now for people that are questioning this, I have heard from very good sources that this is something, that Trent Bray would consider. He loves Corvallis, he loves Oregon State. And it would be, with the right situation, it's something he would consider.
Yeah. I think he'd rather be DC anyway. I think he didn't necessarily want to be the head coach. I think he just took it. I think for a good reason. I think he thought he saw himself as the best fit for Oregon State. And I love Bray at DC. I mean, he led one of the best defenses this school has seen in a long time in 2022. Like, he has had really good, successful defenses at Oregon State. And I think he could be a good fit to come back if it's something the school and him are willing to do.
Okay. I don't see, I'm a female, and I don't think my ego would let me. I think I would be, kind of a big FU, but that's me. And I think it would be a really hard thing. But
in the new staff, I mean, do you look over your shoulder at all?
Yeah.
Like if a coach that is well loved by the players, and again, how incredible if someone could lay down their ego like that. I don't see that narrative playing out. It would be awesome if it could. And more
both
than
egos.
I do,
I mean, like you said, both egos.
Yeah.
I mean, the new head coach too is going to be, like you said, like, okay, this is the last head coach. Is he going to be saying, well, we did it this way? Well, this is how we did this. This is how we did that. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't necessarily think Trent has a huge ego though. But I guess, Ben Smith says Bray ain't coming back. I don't think he is either, but it is something that has, had been thrown out there. Okay.
I'd be stoked, but yeah.
Tight. In your recent coaching update, you mentioned Wilcox being that of a hardworking blue-collar work ethic. Not saying that's bad, but has that archetype actually worked at OSU? And then secondarily, does that archetype excite donors and recruits as much as others? So let's take Wilcox out of it, just of the blue-collar mentality. I think when I talk about blue-collar, I think it's more along the lines of Oregon State is the anti-Oregon, right? So if you're looking at a program that is the biggest flash, bling stuff, right? Like, that's Oregon. And so you look at Oregon State, and it's kind of the antithesis of that. It's work hard, develop. That's I guess my meaning of blue collar. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that question?
I think you keep a little bit of the blue collar, but because of the nature of collegiate athletics right now, you got to have a little bit of that splash. You don't have to be Oregon, right?
Yeah.
You're going on a lot more.
Got to have a little bit just to attract like some of those kids and like make it a little flashy.
Yeah.
We're sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're going on a lot more first dates these days.
Yes.
So yeah.
I agree. I think you need to have some swagger. You need to have some juice. Davis, what are your thoughts?
I hate Oregon, but I think they're doing everything like insanely correct. Like, I think they're doing everything right. But I hate it.
So I you know what I will say, I'm with you, Davis. So this is where the hate part is hard, because I think Lanning has changed my feelings, at least, because it was easy to not like them when Cristobal was there or when even Taggart was there. But Lanning, I feel like Lanning, and I'm not saying this in the way they are, because Helfrich was similar, that you couldn't really hate him when Helfrich was the coach because he was a good dude. And I feel that Lanning, you have to like the guy. And what I love about, this is what I will say about Oregon. Yes, they have different uniform combos, and I didn't like the speckled ones that look like bird shit all over them. But I will say that they've done a lot better job with, and I've loved all their, going back to the traditional Kelly green and yellow. That's Oregon to me, is the green and yellow, not the, forest green and neon highlighter yellow. And they've really kind of gone back to their roots a little bit. And I like that. Sean Buchanan just said that Canzano article came out, Wilcox is out. Thoughts? My thoughts on that is it was kind of a flash anyway. It wasn't like it was a sure thing. They talked, I'm sure, and maybe it wasn't a good fit. Maybe Barnes already had his mind made up, because I know he spoke Monday to Vegan and Shepard, and they let him bow out. So we don't know, but like we talked about earlier in the show, I don't think Oregon State can go wrong with the guys that were on the list. Pluses and minuses with all of them, but somebody says, not hard to hate Lanning. Have you seen the dude try cooking a steak? I have not. I don't follow him that closely. So sorry. Does he like just totally like char it or something? Or
No,
I don't know what I'm missing.
I just love how just how awesomely fussy the rivalry is. They're like, you
I
can't
know.
cook a steak.
You can't cook a steak.
I'm on board with whoever asked that. Or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. The duck hate. I don't know. Okay. Air OSU, curious on your opinion about Oregon State needing a GM and the role that they play in day-to-day ops at other schools that have them. This is a really good question. So
Yeah.
Barnes told me back when I interviewed him last month that Oregon State would not have a GM, that they would be using senior staff at different sports to kind of handle it. In my opinion, Oregon State needs a GM.
Yeah.
I say that I don't think they need a GM like a Rivera or a Luck where they're overseeing the football program only. I think a GM that handles the NIL side of things, roster management. There's a lot to it that is well beyond just like the director of player personnel. That I think it would be very beneficial for Oregon State to have, because gone are the days of recruiting a kid and then he's here for 4 to 5 years and you can develop him. And this is in and out. You're constantly keeping track of positions and where you have need, who's leaving, who's coming in. It's a lot. And then NIL management, and there's a lot to it. So I do think a GM, at least working on roster management side, would be important. What are you guys' thoughts?
I think
I love what Luck is doing and just how how out he is. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, what player could we bring in to have that? Like maybe a Brandon Cook, something like that. But he's so
Speaking of, Brandon Cooks just signed with the Bills.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Or Alexis Serna.
Yeah, or
Serna.
Alexis Serna,
Yeah,
like someone who's just so passionate about the Beavers. And you can see when Andrew Luck talks about Stanford, his face just radiates. He is Stanford, so.
And he's seen them through this transition too,
Yeah. I want OSU to be Mike Tyson to Oregon's Mayweather. Kyle VC, that's Mike Tyson reference. Okay, Davis, what are your thoughts about GM?
I think we need one. I've seen it a little bit in college football, like especially Andrew Luck and Rivera, but I've also seen it in college basketball getting big. Like Steph Curry is Davidson's GM, Damian Lillard, Weber State's GM, and even Adrian Wojnarowski is now St. Bonaventure University, their GM.
Oh, so they actually have GMs that are like current NBA players.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think just the way sports, especially college sports, is turning into professional.
Yeah.
You definitely need a GM.
So Gary Payton could come back and be basketball's GM.
Stevie J.
Steven Jackson would be a really good football GM, I think, just because he has such a business sense to him as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Good. I mean, it's a good topic. I mean, so what I'm hearing is you think each sport needs a GM then, not just a general athletic department that handles.
I think your revenue sports definitely need somebody focusing on those. They could be dual focused, but even just putting a buffer, that much more of a buffer. And I don't really know a ton about the subject, but like a buffer between the coaches and the paid players.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nope. I think it's great. Great questions, you guys. Okay. We're almost done, but Thanksgiving is 2 days away. Not my favorite food holiday. I'm just going to be completely honest because I don't like pie. I'm not a big turkey fan. Crazy. Spencer, what do you like about Thanksgiving?
Well, this year, I like the fact that the OSU women are playing Vanderbilt, number 17 in the country, at 5 o'clock on Thursdays. Tierra Bolden and Kennedy are going off. That's what I like about Thanksgiving.
All right. Okay. Favorite food though. What's your go-to Thanksgiving food?
I'm a vegan guy, so like.
Oh, you're vegan.
Yeah.
now that's why you look so healthy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, so we're not asking Spencer
Friday
to cook
morning.
our
I'm gonna have
steaks
the meat
either.
sweats, man.
Spencer is not cooking our steaks either at the next Beaver Blitz tailgate. Okay, Ty, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Everything.
Oh, you like
Yeah.
you like it all.
No, every day I'm investing in this dad body. Just every day. Dude, just Wiener schnitzel, dude. What is that? A ham? I'll have more of it. Yeah. People are like, dude, leave some for the rest of us. I'm like,
Mashed potatoes? Are you like a mashed potato and gravy guy?
yeah, dude. Yeah. Please.
Are you a
Good
pie
gravy.
guy?
Yeah. Oh,
Pie?
yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Davis, how about you?
The past couple of years, my dad's been making tri-tip at Thanksgiving, so I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I definitely say like stuffing is like one of my
Okay.
favorite Thanksgiving.
Like, do you like the stuffing that's been shoved in the turkey, or do you just like stove?
I've never had it like that. I just
Okay,
always
yeah,
have it
yeah.
on the side.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
Yeah,
vegetables
stuffing.
are fun too. Come on.
Oh, vegetable. I'm
No, they're
making
not,
a big
Spencer.
kale salad.
No,
like
they're
a
not.
kale with crispy prosciutto. I'm
Okay.
super excited about that. Like crispy
That sounds
prosciutto, and I'm making homemade focaccia, sourdough focaccia. I'm doing that. So my brother is bringing a turkey. I'm not a turkey girl. I am doing, like your dad, Davis, I'm doing actually a big tenderloin, a beef tenderloin on the Traeger.
Yeah.
So that's the plan there. So anyway, it's just
I'm
better.
cooking for
I
my
don't
mom
like.
this year.
Oh, you are? Are you going down
Yeah.
south?
Yeah, I've
Nice.
got the night before Thanksgiving is a big comedy night. So we've got
Nice.
shows all over the place. But I'm doing the 2 ones on the coast and going over to Medford to see moms.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Anything to plug with comedy, because you have a lot going on right now.
Okay.
It's what Hick to Hamlet.
Hick to Hamlet premieres in Ashland on December 6th, and then we go to Boise the next weekend. That's going great. But yeah, there's shows. If you are looking, we call it Blackout Wednesday or Drunksgiving. If you're looking to hide from your family or go laugh and drink with them. If you're in Kirby, Oregon, Stony Front. If you're in Medford, Jefferson Spirits. If you're in Central Point, The Point. If you're on the coast, Gold Beach at Groundlings Pizza. Porta Pints in Crescent City. In
Oh
Boise,
my goodness.
in Boise, we're at Mad Swede. That's enough.
Wow.
In Salem, the Yard Food Park and Snow Peak Brewing. Done.
Dang.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta make that
Davis.
Christmas present money. I got 2 little kids. Yeah.
Davis, you got anything to promote?
No.
Beaver Blitz.
Beaver Blitz.
Spencer?
Yeah.
I can talk about
Got
music
anything?
stuff. I can
Music
say
stuff?
music stuff, but that'll be boring for you guys.
No, I want to hear about I want to hear about it. So
I just got invited to tour Columbia for 3 weeks next June, so I'm heading down there to play a series of shows. So
that's awesome.
Wow.
it's a big deal.
Okay, stay away from the cartels.
You got it.
Or don't.
Or don't. Okay. My only plug is beaverblitz.com. 75% off Black Friday. Join it. Then you can talk to all of us all the time. I'm Angie. For Spencer, Davis, and Ty, we'll be back next week, hopefully to talk about a brand new coach and the
Yeah.
Dave podcast.
Happy holidays, guys.